Hello and welcome to Can Do Conversations. I'm Cheryl Williams, the Can Do Mom.
I'm CJ Williams, the Can Do Dad. Thank you for being here.
Welcome, guys. We're happy to have you here and join in today's conversation.
Yes, thank you for being here.
I don't know about you guys, but we are full speed ahead to the end of the year. You know, we are in November. It seems like, where did the other 10 months go?
It's already January.
It's like, it's happening, right? This time of year going forward, it's like, okay, there are so many holiday things. You're wanting to get the end of the year stuff done. You're wanting to, celebrate the holidays, but also have those, moments and memories while still continuing to move forward. And so it's a lot that goes into it. And this time of year is the time when people kind of just put on the brakes and they stop. Right? And so that's why it leads right into today's conversation, which is you need to stop stopping.
Yes, you heard that right. Stop stopping.
So what does that mean for you, right? Are you someone that, when your foot's on it, let's get in the car. Come on, ready?
Okay.
Let's get in the car. Put our
Are you going to
seatbelts
drive
on.
or am I the driver this time? Like always.
If you're there.
You know what?
If you're there, you're the driver.
Okay.
Okay, that's how it works, right? Today,
Chauffeur.
though, for this one, I will be the driver. So let me. I'm buckled. I'm sitting back.
Okay.
10 and 2. 10 and 2. Yes, here we go. Okay, so we're driving along and we're accelerating. The foot is on the gas, right?
Let me.
Oh, you're not driving? Oh, you could drive too.
Oh, okay.
You could both be driving. Okay.
Oh.
So everyone else, put your hands up. 10 and 2. Now, when you start getting really comfortable, you kind of lean back.
Yes.
Get the one
Do your
hand.
lean. Shoulder lean.
Okay. Oh, but you're paying attention. You got 10 and 2. You got precious cargo in the back. Here we go. Okay, our foot's on the accelerator. We're going. Vroom. Okay.
Imagine
Now,
what kind of car you got.
you visualize that. Okay.
Yeah.
But part of our discussion here is we're driving along, and then all of a sudden, this starts happening. And what's going on, right? And sometimes I look down and I'm like, what's happening? Why do I feel like this motion? Well, because your foot's on the gas, but you're also riding the brake, right? So you get a lot of this motion.
She hates that.
This one, I don't know.
Sometimes.
Okay, I'll give him his props. He is a great driver. However, there are some little instances.
On longer drives, sometimes I'm driving and I take my foot off. And I'm driving.
And I'll let it go for a little bit of time. But then when I start getting little mini whiplashes going on all the time, I'm like, babe, do you realize you're doing goza? And he's a driver.
Then I go
normally
cruise control.
So anywho, back to the scenario. So you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's that, am I going? Am I stopping? Am I going? Now, if you take your foot off the gas completely and slam it into the brake.
Full stop.
Then what happens? Everyone's like, whoa, what's going on? What's happening here?
Yes.
Like, what? And it's like, oh, I just put on the brake, right?
Yes.
So, analogy for life is like, how many times are you saying, I'm accelerating, I'm going, pedal to the metal, but your foot is still on the brake? Right? So you're not really, because you're holding yourself back.
You're ready for a break.
And
they're ready for the holidays. They're already ready for the full stop.
And this comes through the whole year. This is not just a holiday scenario. This is, right now, we're talking with the holidays, but it's also throughout the whole year. Like January comes, everyone's like, oh, full speed, accelerator,
building momentum,
right?
And then break.
And so we've got the foot on the accelerator. Oh, it's January 1st. Okay, but guess what? A lot of people don't start January 1st because they feel like shit from December 31st that rolled into January 1st.
5th.
So wait, you know what?
The 5th.
We're not going to start the 1st because I need to recover from the 1st, 2nd.
Yes,
So
and then I might as well wait till Monday.
Let's wait until the first Monday. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Yes, okay.
Yes.
So it's not January 1st anymore that you're starting. No. And so what'd you do? You stop and oh, wait, what? And you pull out your phone. You're like, okay, wait.
Right.
What day? Hold on, let me get to my calendar. Oh, you know.
I can start that day.
So, darn it. You know what? This coming up year, the first lands on a Monday, folks. Monday. So, if you, and I'm all for partying and having a great time. Do you? However, know what you're doing. You got to know thyself, right? So, if we're all over here, I'm like, okay, you know what?
I'm going to be hungover.
It is Sunday, December 31st, when we're all hooting and hollering, Happy New Year, right? Okay, but then that rolls into New Year's Day, which is Monday, January 1st this year, okay? But now you feel like crap.
Yep,
and so your momentum has gone down.
Body.
And so now you've got Monday, Tuesday, and you're like, you know what? I got it figured out. I will start the following Monday. How many times?
You're still eating like crap.
How many times have you told yourself that you're going to start the following Monday?
And it never happens.
So then you're not starting on the 1st this year. No. On 2024, you are starting on the 8th.
Correct.
1 week later than when you said you were going to start. Like right now, you think, I was January 1st. Well, have you pulled out your calendar to see what day January 1st is this year? It's a Monday. Right?
And
so
that
now,
never happens either.
No. And so now you're not starting, and then you're kind of like, it's a stop and start thing, right? Stop and start. So now it's going to be the 8th. We're going to do it. Okay. So then you make it 1 week. And you're like, I made it to the middle of the month.
You got the gym membership.
You've got all the things.
Yep.
Right? But again, it's a stopping and starting.
All the shit still in the closet. All the bad food in the pantry. Nothing's been put away. In the trash. So you're already going to start on the wrong trajectory.
So that's why we're telling you, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if it's
Business.
Sunday, if it's Wednesday, if it's Thursday, if it's Monday, if it's
Doesn't
January, if it's July. It doesn't matter the month,
The
the day, the year. You don't have to wait until tomorrow morning when you get up. If you know that you need to make a change, make it right now.
Exactly. You're already about to have lunch or dinner. Make a little change and have it healthier.
Make it better. If you know what? Shoot, it's 12 o'clock right now, and I didn't do my workout like I said I was going to this morning. Well, guess what you could do during your lunch hour? Or guess what you could do after you pick up the kids? Or guess what you could do right here, right now? Are you doing anything that pressing that you couldn't go get your walk, or you couldn't go get your workout in, or you couldn't choose a better option for yourself? You can, but
There's always time.
And the challenge is we stop and start and stop and start and start. And more people stop than actual start. And what happens is a lot of times once you stop, sometimes you get back on. But are you really back on fully, or are you kind of half-assing it? You're over here, little in, little on.
Little half-ass.
Right. And then you get back in again. But most people, they get off, and then they're off track for a long time. And then they're like, well, shoot, I've wandered so far over here. I really need to get back over here. And so it's these major swings instead of just these little course corrections.
Right. And it happens to everyone. It happens to us.
All the time.
It could be for food, even our business, or what are we going to do? What are we going to eat? Are we going to finish our workouts? Did we do a 6-week challenge, or 8-week challenge? Did we finish it? Did we fall off? Did we put on the brakes? And you figure out, hey, we've been off. We're not centered like we used to be. We need to put our foot back on the gas and finish this out strongly.
And it's in all areas and aspects. Like, okay, are you taking care of the relationship you have with yourself? Are you doing self-care? Are you putting yourself first? Or are you stopping and starting? It sounds good. You do it for a little bit, but then, your spouse needs you, or your kids need you, or we're going into right now, a season of, even this morning, case in point, I was going to get up at a certain time, and then I had not just one, but 2 kiddos come in.
Yep.
They're not feeling great. They weren't up to par, so one needed me, in the middle of the night, and so it's like, okay, take care of that. And then another one came in early morning, and it was like I was ready to get up, but no, he needed me at that time. It's like, okay, I'm not taking care of myself right now, but guess what? I got to deal with what is and take care of what needs to take care of in front of me, right? But does that mean that I said, well, that window's gone, that's it? It's like, no. Now I need to figure out, when am I still taking care of these things, instead of just letting it go and neglecting myself.
Right. And still have time for yourself, and then just switching your schedule around a little bit, or your spouse taking over a little more so you can have your time.
And not everybody has a spouse, and I get that too, right? So you have to deal with what is. This is not a conversation of what coulda, woulda, shoulda, what you hope might happen. No, we're dealing with the reality, right, of what is. And so if you are married, talk to your spouse. If you're not, know that, okay, I'm in this, right? Maybe you have some people who can help you with this. Or, depending on the ages of your children, maybe you say, you know what, this is my mommy time, or this is daddy's time, or hey, you go over here and you work out, or during naps, or if they're at school.
Or you can help out more on this side. Can you give me some assistance, and can you help with that?
Like, kids love to help.
Start helping out.
And as they get older, they enjoy more responsibility
they're going to
too.
want the duties.
So give them that. And then also,
put on the schedule.
If you have littles, and they need you like all the time kind of thing, great. They have naps. They go to bed earlier. They, their sleep pattern. So then you've got to find the time. Right. It's not, well, that didn't happen, I'm not going to do it today.
Well, that's their nap time. So immediately you go for you. You take your time. You don't do other things first. And then by the time it's time for you to take care of yourself, they're up screaming or crying.
And as a mom, I did that a lot. It's like, okay, I had a long list of things that needed to get done. But what happened is I was at the bottom of that list. And so it's like all of these other things were more of a priority than myself, or all of these other things were more of a priority than this. And it's like, you got to look at that list. And a lot of times that list is a lot of busy work, right? And so now I have a running list of things that need to get done. Just keep adding to that list. But then at the end of the week, I sit down and look, okay, what are the things that need to get done this week? Are there things on this list that last week weren't as pertinent, but this week they need to get on the list, right? Or is it like, no, it's still just kind of a running list of things, but not really anything that needs my attention right now. I focus on the things that I need to focus on in the here and now. And I put myself at the top of the list, right? Because for years, it's like, okay, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to eat right. Maybe I'll eat, maybe I won't. Make sure the kids get fed, make sure dinner's on the table, make sure the laundry gets done, make sure, all of these things are happening, and make sure the business is getting taken care of, make sure everyone gets paid, make sure, the bills get taken care of, like all of these things. And yet, where are you on the hierarchy of the list, right? And so at a certain time, you get depleted because you're constantly out there doing all of this. And you're like, I'm running so fast and I'm doing all this.
Yep.
And yet nothing seems to be changing, growing, evolving, or moving because you keep putting yourself last. You keep stopping and start, oh, you know what? I'm going to read. But then you read for a bit and then an interruption happens or something comes up. You don't ever get back to it. Well, the one day leads to two and a week and you could be at 30 days later like, darn, I haven't packed up that book yet. It's gathering dust.
Let's finish it.
The same thing with, you know what, I want to pray, or I want to journal, or I want to write down my goals, or I want to have a gratitude list. With all great, you get the pretty stationery, you get the pretty notebook, you get all the cool pens, you get all this.
Like we've done.
This is gonna be wonderful.
Talking from experience here.
Oh yeah, this is all, experience.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, then you sit down and you use your beautiful, and it's, this is great. And then you do that for a few days, but then something else needs it. So then you stop and start and stop and start. And so you never get any momentum. You never get any traction. You never get a result because you're never doing anything long enough to see the result.
Long as you have your schedule of what you want to do to get those things in. Because once you have your list, you already know what you're going to take care of first. That's not on the list because it doesn't have to be there because it's your daily routine. Just know when you're going to get up, you're going to take care of the kids first. You're going to do something else. And then you immediately start taking care of everything that you needed to take care of for yourself.
Well, that's also why I prefer to get up before I know the kids are going to get up, so I can already be doing those things. I can already have the time that have already been devoted. And this is not, Mrs. Man, woman, it doesn't matter, husband, wife, parent, not.
Yeah,
like
you need time for yourself.
You need time for yourself, whether you're going out to work or you're going out to your job or you're going out to your business or you're going out to your clients.
No matter what you're doing.
Going out to your family, whatever that is, you need to, do you plug in your cell phone every night, right? Do you give your car gas? Do you turn on the switch for electricity? All those kinds of things. But if you don't ever recharge yourself with the food you eat, the things you put in your mind,
start lagging.
How you work your body, the movement, the thoughts, like all of this stuff comes together. And if you're not ever continually taking care of that,
and it's going to be an attitude adjustment here
but then it also becomes like, dang it, that's another thing, I didn't do that. And you start getting down on yourself. It's like, why am I the person? Why me, right? And it's like, so then you go into the poor me mode and you start getting an attitude, and you start getting into that stinking thinking, and you start, and it's kind of like a spiral effect. It's like, and then, you're not as nice to your spouse, you're not as nice to people around, you're not as nice to you've got a shorter fuse, you might, and why though? It's because you didn't take care of you. And so at the end of the day, you have to start with you. And if the day didn't start the way you wanted it to, then that's not an excuse to then neglect yourself completely.
Because you still have the afternoon and the evening.
Well, just like last night. It was like, was it last night? Yes.
Yeah.
It was last night.
Yeah,
we had a workout that needed to get done.
Yes.
And it hadn't gotten done, and it's like, well, crap.
The kids were in bed.
It's 8:30. We had family time over the weekend, and
no, it was even
we
9.
were doing things. It was 8:30, and then pushing to 9. It's like, we have this workout that needs to get done. We got to get it done, right?
Yes.
So why? Because we made a commitment. It's by the end of the day, we're getting X amount of steps. We're getting our workout done for 45 minutes. Like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. So let's do it. Right? Yep. And so you don't say, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. No.
We started as soon as I was finished.
The day.
As soon as I was done reading, we were on it.
And why do you finish it? Because then you have another win, and then you have momentum. So then today we got up, was like, well, we did what we said we were going to do yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So now let's do it today. And today, it's Monday when you guys are watching us. It's Monday, right?
Yes.
It's the start of but did you do what you need to do? And only you know that. And if you're beating yourself up and you're kicking yourself in the butt and you're, oh man, and you get all frustrated and flustered, that's not serving you either.
And the things you need to think about, all the things that you started and didn't finish. You can think about all that running tally that's constantly going of just think about it. I started that, I didn't finish. I started that. So it's automatically a routine for you not to finish something. And that's not good for your mental, your physical, your family. It's not good for you at all. So just make that switch in your head and saying, I have to finish. I'm going to finish this. The attitude of I'm going to finish this no matter what.
And I think you brought up a good point there. And something that, we don't like to dwell in the past, but however,
Things like that.
You can look at patterns, right? And patterns usually get repeated. And so if you do pull out a sheet, and don't spend a lot of time, but just
quickly.
Things that come to mind, it's like, okay, I started that, I stopped it, and start putting it. Why? What was the reason? What did you tell yourself? What was the excuse? What was the thing? And you're going to start seeing a pattern in what the excuses are because you were the one coming up with excuses for all of these things, right? And you know yourself better than else. So you lie to yourself better than anyone else can lie to yourself. And you prop yourself up there. It's like, well, because of this. Okay,
Yep.
I didn't have the time, or it wasn't the right thing, or I didn't feel like it, or someone else. And you're gonna start seeing what your excuses are, and there's probably only a couple, and they all mirror and match one another because they're all the same, right?
Yes.
Because you're coming up with the excuse each time.
Yes.
So then, what you have to do is you have to acknowledge that and say, okay. Well, I own that. Could I have made all those things work? Probably, right?
Yes.
Have other people made those things work? Yes. So then the common denominator.
Without blaming it on somebody else.
This is not a blame game, and even on yourself.
No.
It's like when you know better, you do better, right? So look at the data, evaluate, and then say, okay, going forward, how am I going to make sure that's not an excuse for me any longer?
Yes.
How am I going to make sure when my mind is telling me one thing, I'm saying, nope, I already know where this is coming from. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to keep going. I'm actually going to double down.
That bitch voice.
I'm going to double down and go even further. I'm going to push more into this and play with that resistance that you have coming up. So that way you're not resisting that anymore and you're continuing to go. Right. And after you push through that, then you've worked through that one. Now, is more going to come up? Of course. Yes. Because the more you do stuff, the more things come up for you.
Attitude adjustment. Attitude adjustment. No matter what's going to get in front of you, you can just go around them and keep going straight and stick to the path.
And does that mean every day is sunshine and rainbow? Does that mean every day that you have to have a smile on your face and you have to be chipper and everything is good? No. Guess what? Some days suck. They just do. But guess what? Tomorrow's a brand new day. This moment is a brand new moment. And so last moment could have sucked. This moment can be different. Why? Because you choose to make it different. And so the same thing for your life and for your choices and where you're at. You're where you are right now because of the path that you have chosen to take.
Yes.
Okay?
Nobody else chose it for you.
You have to own where you're at because the only way that you can move forward is through ownership. 100% ownership of who you are, where you are, what has gotten you there, what choices and decisions have you made along the way. And we're not saying it's good or bad. Yep. We're not saying it's right or wrong. It just is, right? And so where you are right now is from where you've come. So now if you want a different path going forward, if you want to chart a different path, if you want something different, you're going to have to do something different to get a different result. You cannot continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. It's not going to happen.
No, setting a blueprint for yourself. You need to set boundaries, a blueprint, so you can know where you're going.
And so you need something that you can check off on a daily basis, right? You have your 90 days that you're working with, it's 12 weeks, 3 months, however you choose to look at that. And then you're working backwards to put that together. Because 90 days is tangible. I can think out 3 months from now, right? Can I think out 10, 15, 20 years? I can.
No.
However, that's not as tangible for me right now.
No.
So you might have a 5-year goal and a 1-year goal and a 10-year goal. However, the only way you're going to achieve those things is by what you're doing in this finite amount amount of time right here, right
Every
now that's in
day.
front of you. And so when you can chunk down what you're going to be doing over these next 90
Yes.
days, and then
To get you to where do you want to go?
and then from 90 days to 30 days, and from 30 days to each week, and then from each week to each day, what are the daily
many steps?
actions? What are the daily steps that you need to be taking to
Right.
get to where you're wanting to go in your
Yep.
mind, in your body, and your relationships, and your finances?
Yes.
These are all
It's a full
areas
circle.
and aspects.
Full circle.
And we focus more on your mind and body because we believe when your mind is right and your body's right, the other
Oh, yeah.
things will be right as well, right? Your relationships, if your mind is better, do you think your relationships are going to be better?
Hell yes.
If your body is better, do you think your relationships are going to be better?
Hell yes.
When your mind and your body are better and your relationships are better, do you think your finances are going to be better, right?
Hell to the
and
yes.
so you've got to look and know what you're working with and where you're at and know where your focus needs to be. Yes, you need to work on your relationships, and yes, you need to work on your finances. However,
Yes.
if your mind is shitty and your body is shitty,
Right.
you're not going to be getting the best out of
Right.
your relationships or your finances.
Right, because you didn't make that attitude adjustment, so you're going to quit at no matter what you do anyway. It's not even, your energy is not even going to be there to even finish anything of any one of those.
And so when you're vibrating at a different frequency, when you're playing at a different level,
Non-quitter.
that goes into all areas and aspects. That goes into your mind and your body because you've brought that up. That goes into
Yep.
your relationships. That goes into your finance. That goes into your community. That goes into your overall life that you have because you're working on you and you're getting yourself right. And so you're not, stopping and starting
Right.
and stopping and starting.
That
and stopping
doesn't
and
even
starting.
exist.
What?
When your attitude is different, you only have the gas pedal. You're not even going to put your foot on the brake. You're not even going to think about, I need to stop for a moment to take care of something because you're already on a roll. You're already taking care of everything for your mind, body, your family, finances, everything already.
And when those things do come, because they will come, you can be doing all things right and you're still going to have shit pop up and get in your way.
Right,
The,
but you
the
just-
challenge was
you
because
just take care of it.
You're moving through that though. You're now going
You're
at
going
a
through
rate of
it.
speed that you're not stopping right at the
Yeah,
rest
full
stop
stop.
to
Just to
come
take
over
care
and
of
take
this.
a break. No, it's like, okay, we're going to keep moving and
Yes.
take care. We're going to address this over here
Yeah.
while we're still moving.
You could take your foot off to take care of whatever you're doing, but it's immediately right back on.
Or you don't. You just keep going. You say, you know what? That doesn't need my time right now. I know where I'm going so much that isn't even. I'm not even
Right.
seeing that. You know when you're going down the road and you're driving and it just looks kind of like this. You're not because you're
Tunnel
going
vision.
faster and you're focused on where you're going and all. The cows are going by and the trains are
Yes.
going by and the roads going by. You're like, wow, that's really going by fast, but you're focused over here. And so all of this stuff that's happening around you is not phasing you because
Correct.
you're going here. Now, if a car up ahead of you starts slamming on their brakes, you have a decision to make, don't you? Well, are you going to, slam into
Slam in
them?
the back of
Are
them,
you
or
going
you're
to
gonna
go
go around?
Are you going to veer off over here? This is life, right? Life comes, it's not always going to be a road free of any bumps and,
Yep.
and hurdles and cars and roadblocks. No, but you have to figure out do you need to take a detour? Do you need to go down the road that no one else is going down because that's your path? Do you need to, stop and get some roadside assistance? Like, there's all these things.
And life happens also.
Right. And so you have to know that for yourself, but don't make the excuse as to why you're stopping and starting and stopping and starting.
And if you have a lot of bumps that are coming in the road while you're driving and taking care of everything you need to take care of, you need to know that you can set somebody's trying to interrupt you on what you're doing. You set boundaries of going, I'm not taking meetings till after 3. No matter what it is, unless it's really important, I'm not taking calls until a certain time. I make boundaries around that so you can stay focused because life happens and people want information, they want questions, but guess what? If it's not important, those questions can wait till a certain time that is designated for taking care of.
And there's usually nothing that important that cannot wait for your time
Yes,
block
unless
that
it's
you
something
have
for your
on
family,
your schedule.
something they need to talk to you at home,
Right.
or something like that.
And they
just
would
set
even know though
boundaries.
too. Is like, look, these are my times. If it's an emergency, you can always call, right? I
Yes.
always pick up the phone if there's something. But if not, can we do it during this time? And they'll respect that. The
Mm-hmm.
other thing is that you just brought up that made me think of something. While we're on this, road analogy
Mm-hmm.
that we're on, sometimes you're going down and there's potholes. There's like big holes in the road and stuff going
Right.
on. Maybe you need to set up your road work crew, and they need to come smooth some of that stuff. Maybe they need to come fill the holes.
Delegation.
Maybe they need to come take care of that, so you can keep focusing on a
start
smooth
delegating.
road ahead. Are there still
Yes.
going to be some bumps and things? Yeah, but you don't want to, knock out your whole tire or take out a whole axle
No.
because you're going into these bumps all the time that are just like
No.
huge craters, right? So who can you bring on your team to as
Yes.
your road crew, right, to smooth some of these things over, to take some of these things, these hurdles and roadblocks and
Yes.
pitfalls in your
Get
way
those pavers
and take
there.
care of that for you, right? And so this is something that you have to think of. We're not going to be able to be the same as you, right?
Nope, everybody's different.
You've had a different path than we have. You have a different path going forward, where your excuses are not our excuses, right? Your setbacks are not our setbacks. This is completely on you. And so you have to take 100% ownership of this and say, okay, so what? Now what? What am I going to do?
Right.
Take some inventory and see where you've been, and then how are you charting a different course going forward, and how are you going to put the foot on the gas for
Yes.
whatever it is that you're going after, and not let this be another thing you're going to stop. Not let this be another thing you're going to
Yes.
fall off track, or just not do it altogether.
And take inventory of who's around you to take care of certain things that need to be done. Take inventory of that person's good for that. That person's perfect for this. That perfect person's great for this. So you can delegate it to the right people. So it can be done. So it's done for you.
Because
And not, just, did you do that?
well,
Did you
everyone
do it?
has their uniqueness, and everyone has their skill set and their traits that they're best at. And so when you can identify that in somebody else, then you can say, okay, you're better at this than I am. You do that. You
Yep.
take initiative and you run with that. Go do
Yes.
that, right? And so when you have businesses or people or things, that goes into that. But a lot of times, in your mind and body, maybe you do need to hire a coach. Maybe you do need to hire a trainer. Maybe you do
Yes.
need to hire someone to be an accountability, or maybe you do need to become a part of a group, or that can help you identify these things, but also help keep you on track, help keep you accountable, help keep you moving. And also,
Yes.
I think the main thing of all those is pushing you to be the best version of you and not deal and be okay with your excuses.
Yes.
Right, because someone else from the outside looking in can say, "Well, that's just an excuse," right? But for you, it's like, "No, this is truth." And it's like, "No, you're arguing for your limitations on that. That's not truth. That's just what you believe to be true." And so, therefore, you look at it as fact.
Yeah, it's true
Whereas
for you.
somebody else can look at it and say, "No, that's not the way that is." And it's like, oh,
No.
they can shine light on things that you're not even aware of because
Correct.
you're
They're blinders.
you're so focused in on what you're doing and where you're at. Sometimes you can't even see the forest or the trees.
Or have experience in that to know what you're actually saying is right or true.
And so those are all the things that you have to look at for yourself. You have to look in the mirror and do some self-reflection and
Yes.
some honesty, right? These are
yourself
not easy
only.
conversations. Right? There's something about this that's easy. However, when you have these conversations and when you come to these realizations, then life can get somewhat easier for you because now instead of like going all over the place in all these different directions and being torn and pulled, it's like, no,
yes.
I'm going this way. This is my path. Now, are there going to be some challenges? Of course,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But
there's
that's
going
not
to
the
be people
point.
around you trying to
Right.
pull you down.
And there's people who like
Hey, your blinders are on and you're not paying any attention over here. So they're going to attempt to pull you down.
And so you just focus.
just
And that's when
have strength.
When you know where you're going and you put your foot on the gas, it's not smooth sailing, but it's a lot easier than the stop,
Yes.
herky jerky kind of movement all around the
Yes,
place.
That's when you use communication to let them know you're on a path.
And by your actions, right? This
Not this.
doesn't do anything. Just actions. Let your actions speak for you. Let your commitment and your consistency speak for you, right? That the whole thing of actions speak louder than words. It does. That's why you have
Yes.
one mouth and two ears. People, they want to hear, but a lot of people want to talk. And it's like, well, if you're talking, you should actually be listening. You should be focusing. You should be going.
Listening
and so
more.
close this and just focus in on where you want to go. And then
Correct.
let that be your guide as to, okay, are you feeling less of this move? Are you feeling more momentum moving
Smooth.
forward to get you to where you want to go? Are you going to fall off track periodically? Yep. It's life, right? You're not
Life
perfect.
happens.
And that's okay. But when you realize that, maybe you're just kind of, let's
just
get back
course
over here.
correct.
It's like you just keep moving along the path.
Yes.
Consistency, but never let that come to a full and complete stop. And then you're derailed, and it's like, okay, well, and then months go by, and here we are again. We're talking to you next year at this time, and it's like, well,
Here we go. I'm gonna start again.
I'm waiting for the new year, right? It's like, no. Every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment.
Every day is a new year.
Right, and it's like, who put these time constraints on tomorrow, next week, next month, on the 1st? It's like, no, it's like, this is your moment. You might not get tomorrow. You might not get this afternoon.
You better go for it now.
You better do what you say you're going to do now and go after what you want, because none of that's promised, right?
No,
we only
that
have
bus
right
could be
here,
right
right
around
now.
the corner.
So,
yes.
On that lovely note,
Christmas bus at that.
we finished it with another vehicle analogy there. So make sure when you're crossing the street, you look both ways.
Yes.
Okay. Left, right, left. You got to look and then use the crosswalk.
You better.
Yeah.
That bus is coming.
Or get some crossing guards for you, to help you. Or, cross at the crosswalk with the signals.
Yes, and be safe.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So I think we're going to wrap up this vehicle, street, car analogy that we have today.
So like and share.
Yeah, we love you guys and all that the community that we're building. And
thank you for everything.
Right, and it's just the questions that we're getting in, because we do have our Q&A episode. Make sure you keep those coming. If you have questions about anything we talk about on these episodes, feel free to send this away and share this with your like-minded friends, family, colleagues. It helps us out, and that's how we're able to build a like-minded community. And remember, guys, we can do it, and so can you. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.